Hello students, we are going to be finishing up our Article I notes today with Section 9, powers denied to the federal government. And we are going to begin with Clause 2, and we're looking for what is a writ of habeas corpus. A writ of habeas corpus is a court order requiring government officials to bring a prisoner to court and explain why he or she is being held and to determine if they are being held legally. A writ of habeas corpus protects people from unlawful imprisonment. The government cannot suspend this right except in times of rebellion or invasion. And so a writ of habeas corpus is what we're looking for. What is it? And so we're looking for a definition basically, and that is a court order that an accused person be brought to court to determine if they are being held legally. So this protects us from just being accused of a crime without having any sort of evidence to back it up. And if you are arrested for something and they don't have any real evidence to back it up at that point, they cannot hold you for longer than 24 or 48 hours. I think it probably depends on the state, maybe depends on the case or the crime, but legally, unless they are going to bring charges against you, then they cannot legally hold you. And number 2 is coming from Clause 6. How does Congress handle trade regulation? So 6, Congress cannot make laws that favor one state over another in trade. Also, states cannot place taxes on interstate trade. So what Congress does is make sure that they do not favor one state over another. Whatever regulations they put in place are the regulations for every single state, or the guidelines for every single state, if we want to put it that way. The type of items that are allowed to be traded state to state have to be the same. They can't allow one state to trade an item and another state to not trade an item, or charge them more for trading that same item in a different state. Number 3 is going to come from Clause 7, and the question is, what do government officials have to do to get money from the U.S. Treasury? The federal government cannot spend money unless Congress appropriates it or passes a law allowing it. This clause gives Congress an important check on the president by controlling the money he or she can spend. The government must publish a statement showing how it spends public funds. So in order to get money, and specifically if we're talking about the president who wants to spend money from the U.S. Treasury, that's tax money from the people of our country, they have to have authorization from Congress. It has to be a law that's passed. So a great example, again, of something that's going on right now and has been going on for the last, it's been maybe 6 months that our original stimulus package was received by the federal government. And so the president said, we want to give the American people some money, which is coming from the Treasury, which also happens to be money that we've paid into the Treasury in our taxes, to help give them a little bit of relief from this pandemic that is going on, for people who have lost their jobs, for people who have children that they need to support and are having a difficult time doing it. And so they're giving money to everyone. Some people get a little bit more than others. It's based on your actual income and it's based on the taxes that you have paid in. But they set a certain price, and then they are going to change it slightly depending, again, on your tax bracket that you fall in, because that means that some people need more money than other people do, right? And that should make sense, that not everybody needs the same amount of money, because not everybody is having the same problems with money during this pandemic time. So that had to be passed by the House of Representatives and the Senate, and it had to originate in the House of Representatives because it was a bill that involved revenue, money. And so then it once passed in the House of Representatives, it got sent to the Senate, and the Senate passed that law, and then the president signs that bill, and we get a stimulus check. Your parents get a stimulus check. And then we have Clause 8. What does this clause restrict? The government cannot award titles of nobility such as Duke or Duchess. American citizens cannot accept titles of nobility from foreign governments without the consent of Congress. And so what we do not do in the United States is create a title of nobility. And a title of nobility would be like a prince, a princess, a duke, a duchess, so on and so forth. There's other titles as well. I don't know all of the titles of nobility because we don't have those titles of nobility in the United States. And that will end our information for section 9.